Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. The lingering shadow Erika Jayne's today of perpetual sadness. The name Erika Jayne has become synonymous with a relentless, high-octane spectacle. A glittering facade battling a devastating, very real storm. While the calendar might turn and the seasons change, for the star of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, the sad news is not a singular event that occurred today. It is the perpetual state of her legal, financial, and personal life that continues to unravel in the most publicly painful way imaginable. Today, in December 2025, Erika Jayne is not mourning a sudden tragedy, but rather living through the protracted, soul-crushing aftermath of a scandal that has stripped her of her marriage, her opulent lifestyle, and most crucially, her unquestioned innocence in the court of public opinion. The collective weight of her ongoing battles paints a picture of deep, continuous sadness, punctuated by moments of defiant performance that only serve to underline the sheer effort required for her to simply exist in the public eye. The permanent legal cloud. A $25 million sword of Damocles. The most immediate and heartbreaking source of Erika's sorrow is the inescapable legal fallout from her estranged husband, the once famed attorney Tom Girardi. While Tom himself has been convicted of wire fraud and embezzlement, and is now serving a sentence for stealing millions from his clients. Victims of plane crashes and burn injuries. Erika's own involvement, or lack thereof, remains the subject of brutal, high-stakes litigation. The core of her ongoing nightmare is the monumental $25 million fraudulent transfer lawsuit brought by Tom Girardi's bankruptcy trustee. This lawsuit alleges that the money that funded her lavish lifestyle, her $IVE pop star alter ego, and her company, EJ Global, was in fact stolen funds. Though Erika has consistently maintained her innocence, pleading ignorance to her husband's alleged crimes, the demand to return those funds, a debt so massive it eclipses her current net worth, is the most terrifying, sad reality she wakes up to every day. The upcoming trial. She is currently facing an impending courtroom showdown on this issue, reportedly scheduled for February 2026. The lead-up to this trial, filled with pre-trial motions and depositions, is a daily psychological torment. The humiliation of loss. The fight to keep her assets has been a series of public losses. She has been forced to surrender her infamous $750,000 diamond earrings, which were ultimately deemed purchased with stolen client money. The act of giving up that symbol of her former life is a constant, tangible reminder of the financial destruction. A new legal wrinkle. Compounding her distress is the separate, but related, lawsuit from fashion designers who claim Erika falsely accused them of credit card fraud, leading to their own legal and financial distress. While a recent legal skirmish related to her current attorney was dismissed, the barrage of lawsuits is unrelenting. The crushing sadness lies in the fact that her struggle is not just about money. It's about the legal system deciding whether she was a victim of her husband, as she claims, or an accomplice who benefited from the suffering of others. The answer will determine her financial future and her legacy. Emotional isolation. The price of perpetual defense. The personal sadness that radiates from Erika is an intense isolation. The women of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills are known for their loyalty and disloyalty, but navigating her legal quagmire has required her to build an emotional fortress, one that often comes across as cold defiance on screen. The end of a marriage. Her divorce from Tom Girardi, after 21 years of marriage, was the catalyst for this downfall. While she has filed for divorce, her marital status continues to be a point of legal contention, and the necessity of witnessing her ex-husband's total collapse. His conviction and prison sentence, despite his claims of dementia, is a unique and deeply painful form of grief. She has admitted to being emotionally destroyed by the sentencing news, a sad truth buried beneath her glamorous public persona. Fractured friendships. The ongoing drama has strained her relationships with her castmates. While some, like Kyle Richards, have stood by her side, others have questioned her actions, her stories, and her timeline of events. The recent drama involving her body shaming of co-star Sutton Stracke, while seemingly a petty housewives feud, is interpreted by many as a symptom of her overwhelming stress and emotional exhaustion boiling over into cruelty. The isolation is amplified by the fact that she has had to build her life back from scratch. She went from a life of chauffeurs and a Pasadena mansion to a more modest, though still chic, rental and a career that forces her to constantly perform while a legal guillotine hangs over her head. She has no safety net. The grind of the comeback. No time for rest. The final, and perhaps most poignant layer of sadness is the unrelenting necessity of her comeback. For Erika Jayne, stopping is not an option. The hustle. Erika cannot afford to step away from the cameras or the stage. Her two primary sources of income, her robbed salary and her Las Vegas residency and DJ gigs, are the only things keeping her legal defense funded and her creditors at bay. Unlike her co-stars, her reality show paycheck is not just for fun. It is a lifeline. This high-pressure environment means she must constantly maintain the Erika Jayne illusion, even when her reality is anything but expend$ive. The public's judgment. Every move she makes is scrutinized. When she dates, when she performs, when she speaks about the victims, it is all analyzed through the lens of the embezzlement scandal. She lives under the crushing weight of having to prove her moral character to an audience that is largely unconvinced, creating an atmosphere of perpetual professional and personal vulnerability. Erika Jayne's current sadness is not a simple, single headline. It's the slow, daily erosion of her security, her reputation, and her peace of mind, all playing out on the most public stage imaginable. She is a woman perpetually fighting for her name and her survival against a tidal wave of debt and scandal, a battle that defines her every day. The diamond-studded walls of Erika Jayne's life have long since crumbled, leaving behind a landscape of raw emotion, relentless legal jeopardy, and a public that remains fiercely divided. For the star of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, the sad news isn't a singular headline. It is a profound, day-to-day existence defined by the catastrophic fallout of her ex-husband, Tom Girardi's, criminal actions. For nearly 4 years, the world has watched the former Pretty Mess singer navigate a storm that few public figures have ever survived. The opulent fantasy of her life, the private jets, the elaborate costumes, the infamous expend$ive moniker, has been replaced by the stark, brutal reality of courtrooms, bankruptcy trustees, and devastating revelations. The truly sad news that envelopes Erika Jayne today is the inescapable weight of this unresolvable trauma and the constant threat of a complete financial and personal collapse. The sentences that shattered a life. The most recent soul-crushing blow came not as a surprise, but as a final gavel-dropping verdict, the sentencing of her estranged husband.